Hi, my name is Amy OSTRANDER, and I'm the Children's Director here at North Point Community Church. Here's what we know for sure. We know parenting is tough, and we know you want to get it right, and we really want to help. So speaking of help, we've reached out to our friends Chad and Autumn Ward to get their thoughts on parenting. Chad is our elementary director at our Browns Bridge campus, and Autumn is a writer for Orange, providing resources for churches and families. They are great parents who have been incredibly intentional with the decisions that they have made with their family. So whether you're parenting toddlers or teenagers or any age in between, I am so excited for you to hear from them today. And I'll be back at the end to share a resource with you.
Hey, my name's Chad, and this is my wife, Autumn. We've been married for 24 years and have 3 amazing kids, a son that's 23 years old, and 2 daughters, a 21-year-old and a 19-year-old. Now, over 24 years of marriage, we have certainly made a lot of mistakes, but
we have.
Something we have definitely learned is very important is being intentional.
Yes. We as parents are already intentional about a lot of things, a lot of day-to-day things, the pressing things, like getting everyone fed, making sure homework gets done, getting to practice on time with both shoes. And those things are important. But there are also some other things we need to be intentional about that can slip away from us if we don't have a plan. They are things that focus on being intentional about our destination versus just our day-to-day activity.
So, in being intentional, the first step to being intentional with your kids is actually to decide you're going to be intentional about being intentional. So in other words, you have to give being intentional some serious thought and start making it a priority. It will not just happen. You have to make it happen. What's most important for you? What do you want to be intentional about with your kids? Well, we have come up with 10 things that we want to talk to you about to help get you started.
If you have a toddler, imagining them as a young adult may seem like forever from now. But trust us, it will happen a lot sooner than you think.
Quick.
That's why it's important to make a plan for what you want your days, months, and years to look like with your kids. Do you want to be home with them after school? What traditions do you want to create? Will being involved in church be a priority? What are your non-negotiables going to be? Imagining what you want the years to look like with your kids will determine what you are intentional about with your kids.
We quickly realized that we needed a plan when we left the hospital with our first kid. We were amazed they just let us leave with a baby. Most jobs require years of schooling or training or apprenticing, but not parenting. I mean, it's really crazy. We both felt so inadequate that we became intentional about learning to be a better parent. Autumn began reading everything that she could get her hands on, and then we would talk about it. We still look for resources today that help us know how to be better parents. Most recently, she began reading and we began to talk about it, but it was a book called Praying the Scriptures for Your Adult Children. We would do that and look for videos just like this one or podcasts and seek out other parents that were further down the parenting road than we are so that we could learn from them. There always is going to be something to take away if we're intentional about learning.
Yeah. And one thing I have learned is how important it is to be intentional with praying for my kids. No one knows your kids' needs better than you, and no one's prayers are more desperate than a parent's prayers. Let your kids know that you are praying for them. Ask them regularly how you can pray for them. Let them grow up knowing that their mom and dad are their #1 prayer warriors.
And while you were praying, my yellowness was figuring out how to have fun. And so we are very intentional about budgeting our money and our time for fun. One practical way I did this was planning date nights with our kids as they were growing up. I would take one kid out each month. So with 3 kids, they got a once a quarter date with dad. We always looked forward to those, they looked forward to those, and it required being intentional with our money and calendar to make it happen. This can be a fun thing for moms to do as well. We also did this for vacations, going out to eat, going to a Braves game, and all the other fun kinds of things that you can do. Fun has been a big part of our family, and I am so thankful that we are still being intentional about our budgeting of our money and time to make it happen. It's important for our kids to see us laughing and having fun and not just doing all the serious parenting stuff all the time.
And not all fun has to cost money. Playing is the best because it requires zero money. But you do have to be intentional about making play happen. Family game nights, walking on the greenway, going to a park to kick the soccer ball, playing frisbee golf, putting all those Lego sets together, tickling matches, whatever it is that your kids enjoy doing, do it with them. There will always be something else to do. I'm still working on my to-do list, and I have resolved that it will never be completely done. But the truth is, all of those things that seem more important than playing with your kids really aren't. And when your kids move away, I promise the to-do list will still be there waiting for you.
We love fun. We love fun and play, but it was just as important for us to begin our kids' days with affirming words and experiences, and then end the day the same way. We were intentional about certain phrases we would repeat every day. For example, when they got on the bus or out of the car to go into the school, we would always say, love God, and then they would say and reply to us, love people. We said those words with them all through their school years, and sometimes even now. And we were intentional about tucking them in at night, and even through their high school years, and again, sometimes now. And oftentimes it was a simple prayer and a quick, I love you. But then there were nights when it turned into an opportunity to just sit and to listen and know what they were really thinking and what they were really feeling.
Yes, listening is huge. Being intentional about listening is hard for some parents. Parents like me who like to talk. But some of my best parenting has had nothing to do with talking. It has been about listening and asking questions. When my kids want to talk to me, even now that they are grown, I will stop whatever I'm doing to listen. And if I can't listen in that moment, I will simply tell them, hey, what you're saying is very important to me. Can we talk? I'll name a specific time, and then say, so I can give you my full attention. Listening is that important. Even when your kids are toddlers and preschoolers, practice being intentional about listening when they are young so they will believe you want to listen when they are older.
And the more we listened, the more we understood how important it was to host our kids' friends. Whether it was a sleepover, having the team over after a game, or hosting a small group from a church event, we tried to say yes as often as we could. And with 3 kids, it felt like we had a house full all of the time. Yeah. But thank God for $5 hot and ready pizzas and touch-up paint. We were constantly touching up paint. But seriously, being intentional to host blessed us with the opportunity to get to know who our kids were spending time with, train our kids how to be a good friend, and show our kids that the people who are important to them were important to us.
Yeah. Okay, this next one can be uncomfortable, but you can do it. Be intentional about diving into hard conversations. Faith, sex, finances, friendships, work ethic, politics, hygiene.
Oh.
There are so many things we need to care enough about our kids to start the conversation. And know that usually it's the most important and uncomfortable topics that become ongoing conversations that you will revisit time and time again throughout your parenting. But if you are not intentional about these conversations, time will get away from you and your kids will go to someone else to talk about them. Now, this last one encompasses all the others. Be intentional about making yourself available. It requires sacrifice, putting someone else's needs before your own. It can look like pressing pause on doing the dishes so you can kneel down and listen to your preschooler talk about their toy, or taking your teenage daughter to a movie after her first breakup, or driving to Athens again to help your college son dig his room out from under his laundry. Being available is spontaneous and random, but it's so powerful. And when we are intentional about being available, we are deciding before it is even necessary that we are going to show our kids through our actions that they are important to us.
You as the parent get to decide what you are going to be intentional about with your kids. The things that will be most important to you, the things that you want to do on purpose. So think about your kids and how much time you have left with them before they graduate high school. What do you want those days, months, and years to look like? Take your time. It's a lot to think about, but once you do, make a plan, of how you are going to be intentional with your kids and start making it happen.
I hope you enjoyed hearing from Chad and Autumn today. As a parent myself, it is always so great to hear from other parents who are a little further down the road. If you found yourself wishing you had written some of that down, don't worry, we did it for you. We've created a resource with notes from today, as well as some practical ideas to help you be more intentional at home. You'll find this helpful guide at the link on the bottom of your screen. Here at North Point, we are cheering you on as you raise your kids, and it is our pleasure to partner with you. So until next time, thanks for watching.